Good evening. I call to order this regular meeting of the Minnehaha County Planning Commission, and I will begin with a few introductory comments. As a courtesy to everyone here tonight, please make sure that all cell phones are turned off. Please note that tonight's Planning Commission meeting will be rebroadcast via CityLink and posted on the www.minnehahacounty.org site for viewing by the general public. Any final action taken on the conditional use permit and temporary use permit applications tonight will take effect 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal of the Planning Commission's decision is filed in the Planning Office by Monday, October 4th at 5 p.m. In the event of an appeal, the decision will be referred to the County Commission for a hearing on Tuesday, October 19th, 2021 at or after 9 a.m. The affected parties will be notified of the meeting date, and meetings of the County Commission are held in this same room. First on the agenda is public input. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on an item that is not on the agenda? At this time, the Planning Commission will consider the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are perceived to be non-controversial and meet all of the requirements of the codes and regulations. The consent agenda will be acted on in one motion with no public hearing on the terms unless a member of the public, the commission, or staff requests the item be removed from the consent agenda. The minutes from the August 23rd meeting are included in the consent agenda. Does any Planning Commission member wish to have an item removed for discussion? Next, I'll read each item on the consent agenda and ask if there are any issues or comments from the staff or the audience. If any member of the staff or the audience would like to be heard on that item, please raise your hand and the item will be moved to the regular agenda to allow you to address the commission later in the meeting. Any items remaining on the consent agenda will be approved by the Planning Commission with the conditions recommended by staff. Item number 1 is the approval of the minutes of the August 23rd, 2021 meeting. Item number 2 is conditional use permit 21-59 to replace a manufactured house on the property legally described as the southwest quarter, the northwest quarter. There is an exception, a Peterson sub, and except Evian addition, into parentheses, and the west half, the southwest quarter, another exception, H-2, and except Evian addition, and parentheses, section 34, township 103 north, range 49 west, severe drop township. Petitioner is Wademan Peterson. He's also the property owner. It's approximately 2 miles north of Renner. Item number 3 is conditional use permit 21-60 to allow a manufactured house on the property legally described as Tract 1, Cunard Edition, the southeast quarter, section 28, township 101 north, range 47 west. That is Valley Springs Township. The petitioners are Kyle and Marcia Cunard. Property owners are the same. That's approximately 4 miles south of Valley Springs. Item number 4 is conditional use permit 21-61 to exceed 1,600 square feet of accessory building space, requesting 2,200 square feet on the property legally described as the south half of the vacant valley, lying adjacent in lots 7 to 16, block 7, Lyons Village Edition, township 103 north, range 50 west. That's Lyons Township. Petitioner is Brian Schmid. He's also the property owner. He lives at 318 4th Street in Lyons. Item number 5 is conditional use permit 21-62 to exceed 2,400 square feet of accessory building space, requesting 4,650 square feet on the property legally described as Tract 2, Sweeps Edition, southeast quarter, section 9, township 103 north, range 48 west. That's Edison Township. Petitioner is Scott Longhenry. He's also the property owner. It's approximately 4 miles northwest of Garrettson. Item number 6 is conditional use permit 21-63 to allow sand and gravel extraction on the property legally described as Track 1, Sierra Addition, Southeast Quarter, Section 6, Township 101 North, Range 50 West. That's Wayne Township. Petitioner is Great Bear Sand and Gravel LLC. Property owner is the same. That's 3 miles west of Sioux Falls. Sir, do you,
I kind of lost track where you're at there, but,
Are you opposed to it?
no.
okay, we'll move on to item number 7. Is conditional use permit 21-64 to exceed 10,000 square feet of commercial building space on the property legally described as Lot 4, Block 1, Sorum's First Edition, the Northeast Quarter, Section 16, Township 102 North, Range 49 West. That's Mapleton Township. The petitioner is Jensen Electric LLC. Property owner is Jensen Holdings LLC. It is along State Highway 115 in Renner. Okay, item number 8, conditional use permit 21-66 to exceed 3,600 square feet of accessory building space, requesting 5,320 square feet on the property legally described as Track 3, Gates, 3rd Edition, Southeast Quarter, Section 18, Township 102 North, Range 51 West, that is Hartford Township. Petitioner is Don Howie, property owner is the same, that is 2 miles west of Hartford. Those are all the items on the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve all the items on this consent agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. If your item has been approved, you're free to go. Move on to the regular agenda, item number 9. That's a temporary use permit, 21-01, to allow a temporary camper site during construction on the property legally described as Track 1, Smithback Addition, Southwest Quarter, Southeast Quarter, Section 26, Township 102 North, Range 52 West. Petitioner is Jordan Smithback. He's also the property owner. That is approximately 4 miles southwest of Hartford. Kevin?
Good evening, Kevin Hookman again. And so I'll just begin by explaining that this is a temporary use permit, and we don't see very many temporary use permits in front of the Planning Commission. The reason why this is here, the process for temporary use is that we receive an application, the planning staff sends out letters to neighboring property owners, and if there's an objection to the temporary use, then it gets brought before you here. And just like I said, we don't receive very many applications first, and then also we don't receive very many objections. So I think it's been a few years since we had temporary use in front of the Planning Commission. This request is to allow the temporary camping site on a property during the construction of a single-family dwelling. This is the property. The petitioner has already applied for the building permit, and our building inspector has brought this to our attention that the petitioner was living on site in the camper, and this is part of the code enforcement action on the property to bring him into compliance with living in on the property. For a temporary use, there are 9 different standards to be considered, similar to the conditional use permit criteria. Those standards are listed in the staff report. Generally, I'll just kind of jump right down to the approval. Staff does recommend approval based on the different standards that are there. This is a temporary use, and he's only planning on being in the property until the house is constructed, and the recommendation follows that. And with the conditions that the camper and any accessory buildings must be unoccupied as living space once the final inspection of the dwelling on the property is approved. And then number 2, septage from the camper must be dumped within an approved septic system or septic treatment center. And like I said, so if the building permit was issued, I believe it was in July, and so he would have 1 year for the building permit to be completed. So he could potentially live in this until July of next year. Is there any questions?
Commissioners, any questions?
Yeah, Kevin,
Go ahead.
what would happen if he was, for some unseen reason, there would be something that happened that he would have to be there past? Can he get an extension?
I suppose you would have to apply for another temporary use and go through this process again.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions for Kevin? Guess not at this time. Is the petitioner here? Will you please step forward, state your name and address?
Hi there, Jordan Smithback, address of 45860, 261st Street, Hartford, South Dakota, 57033. Yeah, I guess I do have a letter that I want to put in the file. We had one of our neighbors that had a number of things he had issues with. So I do have a letter. There was 13 items of inaccuracies. I don't think I need to read the whole letter, but if I could put it in file and then maybe just answer any questions that you guys might have. Like I said, unless I do need to read through it, I can, but I don't know if it's necessary, so.
Probably
Otherwise,
not.
I can, glad to answer any questions. Again, it's for, our house is under construction. RES Construction's building it, footings, foundation are in, we're backfilled. Our building package is supposed to arrive first week of October. It should be framed up, and mostly enclosed by November 1st is what we're being told, so I don't see an issue on duration as far as going past a year. It's getting cold, so camper's not gonna work real well, so we're pushing on the house to get done, so. And items as far as addressed in there, yeah, as soon as the house is done, we're moving out of our temporary living situation into our home. Septic wise, we have a septic tank on site, so that's where the septic goes, waste goes. Yeah, I don't, do you have any questions that I can answer?
I guess not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the room here that cares to address this item? Kevin, I guess I just have one question. Were you aware of the letter, or would you address that, please?
Sure. All right, so, yes, going back to the process, what happened, I did not include I'm sorry, I thought I had the letter included in this packet and must have either got left out. But yes, that's the reason why we are here. The staff did receive a letter that was concerned about the property, generally speaking. The letter was concerned about the unsightliness of a camper and other ATVs on the property. Well, there's construction there, and there's staff finds that, generally speaking, you find things like trucks and trailers on a construction site. So, being a temporary use, once that's done, most of that will be either inside, or they would still have to meet the nuisance ordinance, which would be licensed and operable to be outside.
Was this a neighbor? Just.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
just wondering.
That the setbacks for notice on a temporary use is 600 feet, so it'd be one of the neighbors within 600 feet.
Commissioners, any other questions for him? Thank you.
Yes, Madam Chair, if I may.
Mike?
I just understand there's no one here today to oppose this. It seems like a reasonable request that there's a finite end date. I can understand why they're doing what they're doing, so I guess with that, I'd make a motion to approve.
I second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to approve the temporary use permit 21-01. Any other further comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That item has been approved. Any old business? We have some new business.
One item, new business. I sent out an email indicating that on the 12th of October, there was going to be a countywide bus tour, and I sent you the agenda. So I'll be sending out, I just wanted to put it on your radar again. I will need to know by the 8th of, which is a week from Friday, if you want to attend or not, because there will be a meal that will be provided, a light lunch at Hunter's Point. You may recall we did the temporary camping thing, and that's where we're having lunch, and then we're going to go to a dairy, I guess. Doug, you may want to go spy on the competition. You can do that, Doug. Maybe even give out tips, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, so I'll just, and Bonnie's going to go, that's reason enough to go on the bus tour.
I go.
So I'll send out another email and just let me know a yes or no if you want to go or not.
That is all right if we I just maybe want to go to that, the sewer system over there by Hartford.
I know, and
Is-
you've joined us before halfway through.
Yeah, is that okay if I just go to like that one over there?
You can, I can get you an approximate time, and you can
Okay.
just meet us there if you want.
Because that's one I'd like to go to, I guess,
Yeah.
because I
'Cause
guess
I-
we've had discussions with those guys too.
Yeah,
And we
and-
just like to,
And I think that I think on the agenda was some approximate times,
Yeah.
so
okay,
you can just meet us there.
okay, all right.
That's it?
That's the one I'd like to go to, I guess.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're done for tonight. Thank you.